I want to just start something before you. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Maharaj was supposed to start the talk, but I humbly interrupt. Just to acknowledge and thank our the previous speaker, Gopi Gita Mataji. I think she's still here. The emphasis, we talk about education, pedagogy, and all variety of technical terms. Even Mataji went through some small aspects. But as a second generation devotee in the movement, having gone through the educational system during our, I call it heydays, but we all know what that actually means. It would have been so nice to have some of those experiences where we are encouraged and feel motivated and inspired in the process of devotional service, because ultimately Mataji started with, what I thought in the beginning was a little interesting kind of presentation methodology, but it quickly caught me. At the end of the day, we're interested in going back to Godhead. And so we need to somehow or another have our children go through those experiences which, whatever skills and knowledge they may need or acquire throughout their lives, in school, university, in their jobs, in or out of ISKCON, is kind of irrelevant in a way. What is the most relevant is that they have those experiences whereby it'll tide them over till the end of their birth, which I never got. We didn't get a lot of that. And that's why the statistics are quite horrific. If you look at generationally, hopefully it's changed. Maybe it'd be interesting study by the Ministry of Education. Hopefully generationally it has changed. But certainly from my generation you can count out of 10 maybe 1 or 2 who through their own hard effort have maintained an interest in Krishna consciousness and have tried to stay part of Srila Prabhupada's society and then give back. So I wanted to acknowledge and thank Mataji for that. Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Before we start the presentation, so I would like to make a small correction. Actually, the title should be then Education in Varnashrama. Okay. So, now talking about education in Varnashrama, then we should define then the terms. What does education mean and what does Varnashrama mean? So, we see some very nice quote of Srila Prabhupada. It's from Isha. And then the aim of real education should be self-realization and the realization of the spiritual values of the soul. So now to come to that, then we have to train the children not to aim for the values so that they can develop into self-realized persons. So now can you go next? Okay, you have it. We see the 3 columns here. Sambandha, Abhidheya, Prayojana, and other aspects which are of the same character. So every activity has 3 aspects or 3 stages. Sambandha, Abhidheya, Prayojana. Then we know Srila Prabhupada uses a lot. Sambandha, meaning that developing relationships. Abhidheya is the process in which we use the relationship to achieve the goal, which is Prayojana. So ultimately, we practice it in devotional service. But the same can be applied in anything and also in education. So from the Upanishads, then we see Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. Shravanam means acquiring knowledge. And that can be any way, from the teacher, from the peers, from the book, from the internet. But it's acquiring knowledge. But what do you do with the knowledge? If it's not realized, it's not very useful. So therefore, then Mananam comes, which is the process of Abhidheya, applying it. Now, contemplating, actually deliberating. how to apply the knowledge. And then with the proper application, coming to the right conclusions and applying it and realizing Niridhyasanam. So in the modern terms, we can see that the Shravanam is like a knowledge or the concept or information. The Abhideya or the Mananam, then there's the skill, the procedure or practices. And the goal, which is the realization, the Niridhyasana, then these are actually the values, the attitude, and the behavior of the student which we want to develop. So now we want to, in this short presentation, show how the Varnashrama plays a role now in all three, and specifically then the Prayojana. So then at least we have some ideas then the concept of what the Prayojana actually is. Now, okay, we have the values. Where do we get the values? What are the values? Then we see Narada Muni speaks about in Bhagavatam. What are the real values? What are the real qualities the human being should develop? Go to the next. Okay. Yeah, so then these are the concept, getting the Shravanam. Go next. That will be the apprenticeship. That's how to get the skills. And the Prayojana is then the spiritual understanding. To come to that, then next. Then we have the 30 qualities of the human being, or 30 values of human beings. And this is what leads then to the proper realization. Now to come to that, we cannot omit the Sambandha and the Abhideya. So maybe...
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Maharaj. I'll tell you a little funny story that recently just happened to me. I've been involved in the Bhaktivedanta Academy now as a teacher, as a principal, now dean for the last 12 or 13 years. And before that, I went through the Gurukul system from age 4 up to 15, then high school in Australia, university, etc., etc. So I always find it very hilarious or very funny, the myths that we propagate, myths and then counter myths. So I was in a conversation with some friends recently, and reasonable devotees, intelligent, and they said to me, "Do you teach maths and English in the Gurukul?" And at first I was actually really shocked by that question. Obviously, like, how can you not teach maths and English in a Gurukul? But then I couldn't help but laugh, which brings me to the point here. We talk about, on one side, on the right wing side, let's put it like that, in ISKCON maybe, we say value education, tradition, Varnashrama, and all of those kind of words. And on the other side, we talk about liberality and experience and things like that. But the reality is Srila Prabhupada was trying to get us to apply a broad-minded system of education. And all that really means is, where's the focus? What is the primary aspect of the educational process and system, and then what are the supporting elements? As I just explained, you cannot have an educational system, whichever side of the spectrum you fall, without values, or without the cultivation and development of skills and knowledge. But in the Vedic system and the Gurukul system, then the focus is the quality. The method or the framework for developing those qualities is obviously through the transmission of skills, the development of knowledge and the transmission of skills. And Prabhuji before was pointing out some of the aspects like mentorship and things like that, which are all part of the complete experience. So it's not that when you talk about qualities and we have these, amazing 30 values, which, you know, personally I would love to have a bit of any of them, what to speak of all 30 of them. And then we have to understand, though, the framework for that is the maths and the English. It's not a separate thing. It's a holistic approach to looking at an individual person and how we can help that person reform themselves karmically, spiritually, and to develop skills and knowledge that they can use in that process, which is Varnashrama, which is what we call Varnashrama, in that process for their success in life, spiritually, materially, and whatever the buzzwords are of the day. Thank you. Maharaj?
Okay, thank you. Now, in the beginning, if 5 basic levels, I don't care for anybody else. Pranamaya, me, food, and I can tolerate others if they don't bother me. Then Manamaya means platform of justice. That's eye for eye, tooth for tooth. That's that kind of justice. And we have Vijnanamaya, which is the process of through which the living being then tries to elevate himself to the topmost level, Anandamaya. So the Vijnanamaya is the process of the purification, process of Vaidisarana Bhakti. And Anandamaya then will be the topmost Krishna consciousness. So then the Varnashrama system, it's aimed for that, applying these qualities with Varnashrama, with the Vaidisarana Bhakti, then we can come to the platform of Anandamaya. He talks in Bhagavad Gita, in the 16th chapter, then he mentions, if you want to have your child to develop the divine qualities, you have to perform these 10 principles of human being. The 10 principles, he talks about the Dashavida Samskara. Those are these, beginning with Garbhadhanam. And why the samskaras now are so important? We cannot go too much in details, but at least in principle wise, many talk how samskaras are just rituals. No, they are Vichant Hare Krishna, no need samskaras. But look at from other point of view. These samskaras, they are investment for the child. First of all, Garbhana Samskara. The samskara, it's a ritual, but the ritual, if it's done properly, then the result of the ritual is a change of consciousness. And then only we can say that the samskara worked. So the Garbhana Samskara, at the time of the conception of the husband and wife, then whatever is the combined consciousness, that jiva will get attracted into the womb. And so if we are prepared for it, then the qualities of the child will automatically be much greater. Not necessarily, we cannot guarantee it's perfect. Anga Maharaj, he was a great devotee, but he could not affect his wife's qualities, and therefore it didn't work out so well for him. But if we do everything properly, then we give, it's an investment of the possibilities, abilities of the child, for the child. So that the Garbhana, and then the rest of the samskaras are about how to protect the child in the womb, outside the womb, how to protect the mother from disease, from other conditions, and how to give qualities to the child so then he can develop these 30 qualities Narada Muni talks. So, now this is very important to establish, and now we will show you, we have some data. Go to the next. Data from, it's big data. So this is from generations, over few generations, how certain attributes were developing. And so we focused on to show you, just like in a nutshell, how the children are changing and why they are changing. Now, previously we had seen, or we hear about, the teenage is like a adolescent. It's just a pre-adolescent or pre-adult time. So then the teenagers were more mature. They were more okay. they were more matured. Okay. Nowadays, teenage is talked about more like a extended childhood. But well, yes. So we see, the graph. It shows in the year 76, around 85, almost 90% of young people, 12 graders, had driving license. Now it's to 55. They don't mind being taken by their own parents. No, it's the inconfidence. Okay, go next. Here in this graph, then we see the reading books and magazines. It was 60% that were reading daily. Now it's down to less than 10. Okay, go next. Then here, this is socialization. How much with the friends they get together, face to face. Before it was over half. Now it's basically to around 25. So it's 50% down. Next. This shows activities. In gray, these are activities which are not on the screen. Black, the activities which are on the screen. And it was found that any activity, or these activities specifically, then they decrease unhappiness. But the screen activities, they increase unhappiness. So it's, and these are, this is a chart of spirituality. You see, we said declining 75% to 35, 40% in just few years. And religiosity. Okay, next. And this is when mothers, the first pregnancy and marriage. Previously it was around the 28 year average. Now it's like 27 years average when they get married and have first child. All right. Now the video.
Just very briefly, our leader is very precise with the timings. Thank you for that. To summarize the aspect that Maharaj was talking about, the samskaras, and connecting with our previous speakers and Gita Gopi Mataji as well, it's basically the bottom line is what kind of experience the child, the parents, and then the child are going through. So if we endeavor the framework we have been given by the acharyas and by the social and religious context that we have, if the experience is uplifting and positive, then the result will be good. That's the simple summary of that. Just, we have a very small video, if you bear with us. This is, I'll introduce you. This is Kripa Siddha, one of our students, who's in his final year. He'll be moving into his internship shortly. He'll introduce the video. Very quickly, Kripa, please.
Hare Krishna. We made this video about a year ago. It was for a YouTube channel, just like many other videos, and it actually became very successful over time because just people liked it very much. And what was the most amazing thing about it? It was completely unscripted. We got 4 small boys. We had them to sit down. We told them whatever answer comes to your head, just answer naturally as you like. So this is how the boys are actually thinking, their personal feeling about all these aspects.
Yes.
I am Balamukunda. I am 6 years old. I am from Russia. My name is Haitosh. I'm 7 years old. I'm from Lithuania. My name is Pushatam Das. My age is 6 years old. I'm from China. No, Malapur in China. I am Vamana. I'm 7 years old and I'm from Germany. I like the most, not of eating, I like the most chanting japa. Because then we can go back to Godhead. I like to eat little bit, not too much, sleep little bit, not too much, and play little bit, not too much, and do whatever service I need to and chant a lot of japa and drink a lot of water. I like the most in Gurukul chanting japa.
Why?
Because like that you could please Krishna. I like the most in Gurukul chant japa. I like in the Gurukul most that kind of, I forgot. Sabji? No, if one bread like this and there is sabji under and another gram. Burgers. I like the class in Gurukul is IJ class. I like the class which Samba Mashai is making like houses, a big star, and in the evening Samba Mashai class in the 3 days. That kind of. Because they giving you intelligent and they learning you. They teaching you. Because they make you Krishna consciousness. Make you aware of everything so you don't break stuff, do bad stuff. I like the most festival, the Janmashtami. Is Krishna when he born. My favorite festival is Janmashtami and Radhashtami. And my favorite festival is Yatha Yatra and Gopashtami means cow's birthday. That's cow. Gopal. Krishna. I like Jagannath, taking bath, Snanyatra. I want to preach to the people to change japa, to be Krishna consciousness. To preach the people a lot until you die and preach, to chant, and give out Bhagavatam books and that stuff, and chant a lot when they're serving out the Bhagavatam books. You're waiting for the people to come to buy some stuff.
Maritosh, what do you want to do after?
I want to preach to the people and chant a lot of japa.
Maman?
Cooker,
Cooker?
like my father.
Okay.
I also want to cook for Radha Madhava and Panchatattva. I want to be same cooker like my father, mother. No, like my father. And will cook gulab jamun, all the kind of salty and sweet for Radha Madhava and Narasimhadev and Panchatattva and Srila Prabhupada and Lord Garudadev. To that ISKCON Mayapur temple.
Thank you. We have time for a few minutes. We have about 3 minutes for questions. If devotees have questions or comments. Questions. Atul Krishna.
Maharaj, thank you for the enlivening presentation. My question is about the role or the function of sanskaras in the curriculum or in the education of the students. A lot of those things look like they're performed at home by the parents. So are you facilitating some sanskaras for students, or are you training the students to perform the sanskaras when they become householders, or both, or could you elaborate more?
Yeah. Well, yes, we do both. We train the students, we train the parents, how to perform them, but we encourage them, they do the samskaras. Most of them are done at home. Then in Gurukul, then we continue with the samskaras from Upanayanam. That's what we give the students when they are ready for the higher education, and Samavata, which is the graduation ceremony. So those we perform in the Gurukul.
And we see also over the years, by talking and doing that training, then even now in the last few years we've had parents enroll their kids who have started from Garbhadana after hearing and understanding about it. So it's a generational thing as well.
Another question? Yes, Krishnendu Prabhu here.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. You spoke about how the teenage years has become an extension of childhood. And it was also...
Not me.
In the presentation.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, the evidence is there. And it was also touched on by Gopi Gita previously. What's the solution to that problem?
The solution, well, first of all, then what's the root of the problem? And the root of the problem is that the children don't have as much as the quality personal association as they used to have. So because of nowadays, the children as they are born, they start to live with the electronic gadgets. And that makes the dealings among themselves quite impersonal. So the solution will be to minimize on that, to actually means with more focus on the personal association, face to face.